You know 'em, you've probably told them. Lawyer jokes, right? They're everywhere. It's like a universal language. But have you ever stopped to think about where all that animosity actually comes from? Let's kick things off with a classic and see what's really going on.
You ready? I bet some of you are already saying the answer out loud. So how do you know when a lawyer is lying?
His lips are moving. Ha! It's a classic punchline, and you gotta admit, it gets right to the heart of a very, very deep-seated stereotype.
Okay. How about one more, just to really set the stage here? Why is a drowning lawyer totally, completely safe from a shark attack? Professional courtesy. The joke is that even sharks recognize one of their own. It's funny, yeah, but it also kind of points to something much, much deeper going on here.
So let's get serious for a minute. Behind all the punchlines, why is this a thing? Why do these jokes exist, and why do they stick around, generation after generation? It's not just for a cheap laugh. There's a real reason this reputation exists.
The source material we're digging into today asks this exact question. Why do these jokes pop up everywhere, from movies to family dinners? And the answer it gives? Well, it's pretty blunt.
And there you have it. The argument from the source is that the stereotype exists because there's a kernel of truth to it. The idea is that there are just enough lawyers who fit this description to tarnish the reputation of the entire profession.
Now, to be super clear, this isn't saying all lawyers are like this, not at all. But the reputation itself acts as a kind of warning sign for anyone who ever needs to hire one. The real trick is figuring out how to tell the good ones from the bad ones.
So how do we do that? Well, according to our source, you first have to understand that the legal profession is basically split right down the middle. It's a profession divided against itself.
And this really illustrates the core conflict perfectly. Our source breaks them down into two groups. On one side, you have the truth seekers, and on the other, you have the truth hiders. Their missions couldn't be more different, even though they operate in the very same system. So let's look at the truth seekers first. These are the lawyers you hope to find. Their mission is to uphold the rule of law, to fight for real justice. They see their job as protecting your rights and standing up to power. They're the advocates we all want in our corner.
And then you have the truth hiders. Their goal is simple: win. Win at any cost. And if that means hiding the truth or bending it, so be it. They often end up serving their own interests, and they're the ones who fight to help the liars and the thieves. These are the lawyers who fuel all those jokes.
And listen, choosing the wrong type of lawyer, it isn't just a small mistake. The consequences can be absolutely devastating, which is why it's so important to know the red flags to watch out for.
So what's really at stake here? Thousands and thousands of dollars for starters. But honestly, it's so much more than the money. We're talking about years of heartbreak, frustration, and just countless disappointments from losing a fight you should have won.
So what are these red flags? The source identifies 4 specific types of bad lawyers to avoid, like the plague. There's the corrupt one, who's just plain dishonest. The stupid one, who just doesn't know the law well enough. The lazy lawyer, who won't put in the work. And then there's a 4th type, which is especially dangerous.
And that's this one, the fearful, self-interested wimps. See, these lawyers might look the part at first, but the second things get tough, they fold. They'll give in to a judge or the other side just to make their own lives easier, and they will leave you completely in the lurch right when you need them the most.
Okay, so that's the problem. That's the dark side. But what's the solution? The key is learning how to protect yourself and find a true advocate, what our source calls a word warrior. So, what is a word warrior? It's basically the ideal lawyer. It's someone who is honest, clever, hardworking, and absolutely dedicated. Their whole mission is to prove the truth and fight for their client. They're the real deal. And what's great is that finding a warrior isn't just about luck. It's a strategy. It's a process. First, you know the red flags, so you can weed out the bad ones. Second, you actively identify the good ones by asking the right questions. And third, once you hire them, you manage them. You set clear expectations and hold them accountable.
Because really, this is the whole point. You aren't just hiring someone to shuffle papers. You're looking for a partner, a real advocate who gets what you're trying to achieve and is willing to dedicate all the necessary resources to actually win.
So, the next time you hear one of those lawyer jokes, you'll know what's really behind it. And if you ever find yourself needing to hire one, just ask this question: who are you really hiring? Is it a truth hider who could cost you everything, or is it a word warrior who will fight for the truth? The difference is everything.